All right, welcome back, everybody, to Hard4Games. We are your hosts. I'm Tony.
And I'm John.
And I'm Corey.
A.K.A. Snesse. And if you've been watching the channel for a little while, you may recall these bad boys. They are prototype Wii Remote and Nunchuk controllers, but they actually plug in to a GameCube. Mm-hmm. And John and I covered these a bit back, but really we could kind of cover them superficially.
Yeah,
because
these are the buttons.
Yeah, and
this is how they sound when you press them.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was interesting in that they had repurposed Game Boy Advance buttons for it, and it was sort of a hodgepodge with ultimately a different design than the final Wii Remote.
Right. Yeah,
but we couldn't play them, really.
Yeah, it was mostly just us getting to experience what these early prototype pieces are, and that our fetish is pressing the buttons of things you can't press.
Yeah, kind of. There's a little bit of a catharsis to that, isn't there?
You can call it that.
But today, a ton of people in the community came together. And because, if you recall from the last episode, you can't play these on a regular GameCube. Mm-hmm. And not all software, or really any software, supports it. But the Debug version of Metroid Prime 3 that was leaked supports this. And you can play it on a GBOX, which is an NPDP unit. We'll get into that in a minute. So basically, we got all of these pieces together, and these back to be able to actually utilize these and play these. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into it.
This is Hard4Games. They're Hard4Games.
All right, so a lot of people had asked in the last episode, can't you just plug it into a GameCube? Can't you just plug it into a Wii? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Well, first off, what game on the GameCube would be compatible?
Nothing.
Yeah, none of them.
Right? So we have the beta of Metroid Prime 3, which has options for this controller. But the problem is that you need a system with upgraded RAM to be able to play it.
You
right?
need more dedicated RAM.
Yeah.
Yes. So what we have today is an NPDP cartridge, which houses basically a hard drive with different sectors on it. And then we were sent a GBOX. And we got these back from myretropop.com.
Yep.
So there are a lot of moving parts here. But basically, we have a means to be able to play this now. And for those of you that might be wondering what the heck a GBOX is, well, basically, first off, there's a Dolphin on it. Before the GameCube was the GameCube, it was Project Dolphin. And you may have seen the GDev on the channel before. The GBOX is similar. It plays NPDP cartridges, but the GBOX was more for just sort of generalized debugging, quality assurance, that kind of stuff. Because the GDev, you can emulate an optical drive via PC and an ODEM card. You can do more things with it. It's more designed for, well, GDev development, right? But our GBOX is upgraded.
Yeah.
So as you can see here is obviously very debug. You can see the CPU usage, you can see the memory usage. The memory usage is already above what a normal GameCube can do.
Right.
Yeah. And the HUD going on there is some crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's very precise.
Yeah, it's like, it wants to see that you aren't just walking around. It wants to know that you've aimed and are starting to do this. Oh, it's
super tight.
So weird.
Yeah.
It's that's a little glitchy.
What did you do here? So
You
have to be the exact center here.
You have to be at a near perfect spot, and you kind of have to stop and aim and
it's very
look at how little I am moving my actual hand. Like the retail Wii, you're like, woo! And it's barely doing anything. Because it assumes someone's having a stroke while they're using it.
You cannot play Skyward Sword with this controller.
No. Did you so if you see where I'm moving,
perfect between the center of that.
So it has to be exactly between
The sensor bar.
the sensor bar.
Come on over, I'll show you.
And then you
Play this.
You lose it
Press the right button.
You lose it instantly. Get out of here.
Dirty dancing.
That's the way to do it.
All right, so I'm going to showcase some cheats real quick here. So we have give all power-ups on. Vulnerable Samus, you can toggle. A bunch of different options here.
Nice little game
Power-ups,
Oh, that's all looking pretty good.
upgrades,
Woohoo!
Morph Ball.
Oh, Phazon Ball. Oh, yeah. Turn that boy on.
Power-ups miscellaneous. You can increase the energy. So if you notice down here, it has Revolution, which I'm assuming, because Revolution was the code name for the Wii, that this is related to the Wii.
Ah,
So you have
yeah.
controller debug, free look gun on, orbit lock gun off. There's a bunch of different options here.
You know, I've owned a gun or two, and none of them have ever
Game
orbited.
rewards.
Did you just quit the game?
Yeah, I wanted to see what would happen.
Well, this is what happens.
Kill him dead.
Yeah, get him. You used your space gat.
So imagine if you were at home playing the Wii and your range was 6 inches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Plus, you're like,
Oh, wait,
if
those are
this
good
ever
guys.
came out, you'd be tied down with the wire, anyways.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that they intended it for it to be wireless.
Yeah.
But this was just a means to kind of get it going. But
Test it out. Before.
yeah, exactly. It's too sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be so
You
specific.
have to, like, really focus. Also, I'll be honest, this part of the game is really giving me some, like, Halo vibes.
Yeah, it is.
I'm expecting Master Chief to meet up with the
Ooh.
Arbiter, like, any second right now. Like, I know that these are the space pirates, but it's,
By the way, you can press other buttons for your...
nah, son.
crazy
No,
attacks.
son.
Let's see if we turn off some lights. You know, sometimes the Wii sensor bar is sensitive to lights.
That's true.
Does actually seem to be better now.
Sensor bar is just two little lights.
Yeah, they're two little LED lights. That's why you could have the wireless one. People always tell me, like, oh, I need, like, one because my cat chewed through the sync cable. I'm like, no, it's power. There is no sync.
I used 2 candles one time as a sensor bar.
Yeah, that works. As long as
Really?
they're big
Yeah.
enough candles. Yeah. It just needs, like, 2 places basically in a line to tell the orientation of, oh, man. I feel worse, but I accidentally shot one of those guys.
But you see how my body is here. Like, even with some of the lights off,
Very stiff.
it's... Because I remember with the Wii, if you had a lot of lights on, sometimes you'd get confused,
Yeah.
you know. Try the different buttons here. There's this one.
Oh,
There- oh!
sick.
Whoa!
So if you take a look at the memory right here, we're using about approximately 50
Right.
megabytes
Yeah.
of RAM. And the GameCube, the retail GameCube, had 24 megabytes of primary RAM.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're already
Double that.
double.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, consoles traditionally have actually fairly small RAM. The PlayStation 3 had 256 megabytes of RAM or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why, like, porting things from PC was often quite a trick.
Wow, that's awesome. That it was able to play games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it had, like, a...
CPU is killer on it.
Yeah.
It plays well if you are in a perfect spot.
Right.
That's pretty much the extent of it.
It
right?
does play good.
Is this going to be a new Tai Chi form that you teach your class?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like, I will now do using the Dev Wii.
Yeah.
This is the GBOX move.
Oh, is the C stick how it
Moves.
comprehends move?
Oh. So I wonder if you can plug a GameCube controller into that and use the C stick to move your...
Oh, you can.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is perfectly 100% compatible with a normal GameCube controller.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of understands both.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
So it's basically just converting the C stick inputs to the motion.
Exactly.
Now I see.
Literally, yes.
Oh,
What the heck?
yeah, that's just open now. Oh.
So now we're using 61. For a
Yeah.
moment, they were using 61 megabytes of RAM.
It's so
getting
slow
a
right now.
chop.
Because again,
right
it's
there.
it's a huge
Yeah.
area. It's loading in that giant map.
Ooh.
Chop,
It's
yeah.
chugging.
Lordy, lordy, lordy.
Oh, slap chop.
Boo.
Oh, man.
Need to bump that CPU a little bit too. Because you got to keep in mind, you know,
Oh.
it still has a CPU of a GameCube.
Yeah. So the thing about this Wiimote is I like it way better than the retail Wiimote.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a lot more solid. I just wish it had a little more weight to it.
Yeah.
You had
Just a little
mentioned
bit.
you had mentioned in our initial review of it that you felt the same way.
Yeah.
That you actually liked the way it sat in
Yeah.
your hands a little bit better.
But I mean, like, if this was meant to be wireless, it'd have the 2 double A's in it anyways, which would add a little
Yeah,
weight.
yeah. That was like the perfect level of heft.
Yeah.
Those batteries. The best way I can describe this is when you go and use like a friend's computer and their mouse settings are completely different. You kind of have to like rethink it.
Adjust, yeah.
But the actual controller feels good, and the Game Boy SP buttons that they repurposed
I love them.
feel great.
That clicky micro switch
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
All about it.
It's tasty.
Well, gentlemen, we played with controllers that very few people in the world have actually played with on a console.
Yeah.
Very few people have ever utilized playing a game that very few people have played. So it's always a unique experience here over at Hard4Games. What are your thoughts on all this?
This is like when I first got to play the Wii, I thought, this is interesting where motion controls could go, but I'm not sure if it's for me yet.
Yeah.
And this is an earlier build of that.
Yeah.
Certain parts of it felt snappier and more responsive, but almost too snappy, too responsive, too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
If the sensitivity was a little bit down, I think it would be a much better controller, but I actually quite liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like lower the sensitivity and broaden the range in which it's registered.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And keep the physical controller shape and...
Yeah, so go ahead and do that, Nintendo, which you already did, and then released in the Wii. So it's like we're critiquing something that basically is just the retail Wii remote.
And like
but
being able to like actually play it, I feel really like thankful for everyone that like helped us be able to do this.
oh my goodness, so many people to thank. So first off, who now owns the GBOX and owns this NPDP cartridge.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
you.
allowing us to play this. Big thank you to Z, or XE, I'm assuming it's pronounced Z, who previously owned the G-Box and shipped it to us from Canada, and then we're going to be shipping it to Australia to Shane. And then also a big thank you to MyRetroPop.com for relending us the prototype controllers. MyRetroPop.com is an eBay store that has a ton of different like beta and prototype goodies, so definitely check it out. And also the owner of MyRetroPop also co-owns a barcade
Where is that?
in Coral Springs, Florida.
Oh, okay.
It's called Game Night. So check that out.
Next time I'm in Florida, I'll see if I can check it out.
Yeah, and like in all honesty, I checked out the website. They have like a really good selection of craft beer as well. So like
Road trip.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out, guys. So big thank you to everyone who made this possible for all of us. It was definitely a very interesting experience to get all of these different pieces in the mail and then plug them in and actually have them work.
Yeah, thank you.
And can you imagine, like, some of these people's wives, they're like, who are you sending that to? Oh, a YouTube channel called Hard4Games? Yeah, it's like, there's a lot of trust involved here. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody,
Thank
for
you.
watching, subbing, joining us on Patreon, all that stuff. Whatever you do to support the show, we certainly appreciate it. And we'll see you all next time.
They're hard for games. These are hard